join the party, have a hearty glass of rum.
Hey everybody, it's Adam. Today I'm going to show you my recipe for homemade key lime pie. My mom had a bakery and she cooked hundreds and hundreds of these, and by the time she closed the bakery she had sold thousands. And now at my restaurant we sell just as many key lime pies. My sister Emma actually does most of the baking, and she, as well as my mom, has also made probably thousands. So it's really easy, really good ingredients, and you don't need to go to the store to buy it. So let's get cracking. Alright, I'm going to begin by making my crust. I'm using a graham cracker crust here. You can buy them in the store, but the store-bought ones really miss out on all that buttery richness. I'm going to begin by cranking up my oven to a whopping 325 degrees. And I'm going to begin by taking 10 whole graham crackers and putting them in my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could put them in a bowl and have your kids kind of crush them until they're like a powdery consistency. 3. Alright, I have my food processor loaded up with 10 whole graham crackers, and I'm just going to turn on my food processor for a few seconds until they're all ground up into a powdery consistency. It's going to be loud. Sorry. Alright, my graham crackers are all processed. Now I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. Don't use salted here or else you're going to end up with a really salty crust, which is nasty with key lime pie. Just dump that in. And then to this, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of white granulated sugar. Just to sweeten it up a little bit. Alright, now that I've got the butter and sugar in here, I'm just going to give it a few quick pulses just to mix it together, and that's all my ingredients. Alright, my graham cracker crust is ready to go. Now it's time to put it in the pie plate, and here is a big secret for key lime pie, or any kind of custard pie, or kind of wet pie. You want to use an aluminum pie plate. If you're serving it to company or in a restaurant, if you use a ceramic pie plate, it's very hard to get in there and scoop it out and be neat. If you use an aluminum pie plate, as you can see, it's kind of bendable and flexible. It'll help you get that first piece out without ruining the whole pie. So now I'm just going to take the contents of my graham cracker crust in the food processor and dump it right into the pan and kind of shape it so it fits it. Alright, as you can see, I spread the graham cracker crust up the pan. Doesn't have to be perfect. And now I'm just going to put it in a 325 degree oven for about 13 to 18 minutes, just until it starts to brown a little bit. Then I'm going to pull it out and bring it to room temperature. Alright, while my pie crust is baking, I'm going to begin making the filling for the key lime pie. And it's really easy. You're going to start by using 4 egg yolks. You want to separate the yolks from the eggs. I'm just going to crack them and be very gentle. Open up the egg. I'm going to play a little game of catch with tossing the egg yolk between each of the eggshells, and that will make the egg whites separate from the yolk. See? Bloop. And then I just have the yolk, which I'm going to toss in my mixing bowl. I'm just going to add 3 more eggs. Alright, I've got my egg yolks in the pan. I'm going to set aside the whites. I'm not using them in this recipe, but you could certainly use them for an egg white omelet. You can make kind of a French salad dressing, or if you're feeling frisky, pavlova, meringue cookies. And now I'm going to add key lime juice. You could totally squeeze key limes. These are not key limes. Real key limes are like this big, but it's going to take a lot of limes. And this stuff that you can find in the store, the key lime juice, is awesome and totally just as good. It's one of those instances where it doesn't really matter if you use fresh or not. So this, I'm going to add half of a cup. Okay, next I'm going to add one 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. You can find this in any grocery store in the baking section. It's not called for a lot in baking recipes, but this is really what's going to add that rich creaminess to the key lime pie. I'm going to add the whole can right in. Alright, last but not least, I'm going to take the zest of 1 lime. You could, again, grab some of those tiny little key limes and zest them, but you're going to end up with bloody knuckles and chipped fingernails, which is not cute. So I'm just going to take the zest of 1 and zest it right into the bowl so it gets all that really awesome oil. When you're zesting, really avoid the white part of the lime because it's going to taste like a rubber shoe. You just want the good green part. Okay, so now I've got all my ingredients for my key lime pie filling. I'm going to just take my whisk and give it a quick beat until everything is incorporated. If you see a tiny bit of curdling, that's fine, don't worry. It's because you're mixing dairy and lime juice. Totally normal. Alright, it's been about 13 minutes. I'm going to pull my pie crust out and let it come to room temperature. Voila. Alright, while my pie crust is cooling, I'm going to take my key lime filling and stick it in the fridge and let it cool for about 20 minutes. That way the crust and the filling will be ready to go at the same time and I can have a cocktail. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes. I've taken my filling out of the fridge and it's set up just a little bit. Now I'm just going to pour it into the pie crust, smooth it out a little bit, and stick it into the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Alright, I pulled my pie out of the oven after about 16 minutes. I'm going to let it cool for about 2 minutes and then stick it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours, which is where it's going to set. You really get that nice custardy consistency, and then it will be ready to serve. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. The recipe for this key lime pie is available on my website, adamprocatering.com, and watch for more episodes of my cooking show, Cook with Adam, on YouTube. See you next time.
Come on, join the party. Have a hearty glass of rum.